Hi, I'm Brianna Manley.
And I'm Emma Edick. Welcome to the Butler Beat. The Butler men's basketball team is on a roll, riding a 4-game win streak. The Bulldogs topped the St. John's Red Storm 85-62 at Hinkle Fieldhouse Tuesday night. Head coach Chris Holtmann says he was pleased with his team's performance in a game that didn't have much flow to it.
As I've been throughout the year, was impressed with our guys for the most part, poised in a game that was choppy.
Kellen Dunham led the way for the Bulldogs with 21 points. The Red Storm kept the game relatively close until the Bulldogs went on a 20-5 run to close things out. Butler's next game is against DePaul Saturday afternoon at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Tip-off is set for 3 o'clock.
Butler men's basketball fans have only 4 more games left to support their players this season. I got to Hinkle Fieldhouse to check out the Dog Pound.
Dog Pound! Dog Pound!
That is the voice of Butler University's fan section, the Dog Pound. Soon these empty bleachers will be filled with students from across campus showing some blue and white school spirit. Butler students will chant, cheer, and try their best to encourage their home team at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Dog Pound member Marco Tomich is not one to underestimate the impact of student support.
I really believe that the students and the pride in the school can really help a team push through and get an extra W that they might not.
After a $36 million Fieldhouse facelift, the Dog Pound has nearly doubled in size. And now that Butler has joined the Big East Conference, students like Thomas Peterson can hardly contain their excitement.
With Butler back in the national profile, we're filling up nearly every game. It's getting loud, the crowd's bringing their energy, and we just love it.
The perks of joining the Dog Pound can include pizza, t-shirts, and collectible items to use throughout the games. Even new men's head basketball coach Chris Holtmann believes in the Hinkle magic and the power behind the crowd.
There's a buzz in the air. There's not a better place to play than Hinkle. There's a buzz in the air when we have a packed house, and people who come in here, we want them to know when our opponents come in here, it's going to be a very difficult place to play, and it's proven to be that this year.
Win or lose, Bulldogs are not fair weather fans. For the Butler Beat, I'm Brianna Manley.
Continuing their rise in the rankings this week, the men's basketball team has begun to generate plenty of chatter on social media. Mike Murtaugh has a story.
On a day in which Hinkle Fieldhouse is filled with the sounds of drills and jackhammers, it is a different kind of noise that men's basketball head coach Chris Holtmann is worried about.
Coach calls it like the white noise.
Holtmann first mentioned this white noise in the post-game press conference after the team's victory over Seton Hall 2 weeks ago. He defines this concept as any chatter generated from fans online or from players speaking with members of the media. Holtmann says that while it's a natural part of the industry, it can often be detrimental to the athletes.
And you wonder if the person who put that out there really understood that that is something that can be harmful. Having said that, it's part of the business we have chosen.
Junior guard Kellen Dunham admits that it can be difficult to avoid criticism from fans in the media in the world of Twitter and Facebook.
I see some of it just because people tag me in it and things like that, but it's hard not to nowadays, not to see some of the things people are talking about, but I think as mature as my teammates are, and I feel like I've grown in it as well, as just taking it with a grain of salt.
While responses have become much more positive this season than last year, senior guard Alex Barlow says he used some of that negativity to fuel himself this summer.
I used it a lot this offseason, reading about what people were saying about our team and about me personally. I kind of use that as motivation, to get better and make sure what those people say about me ends up being wrong.
For now, Holtmann's message to his team is clear.
There also takes some self-control and some discipline to just not read it.
If all goes well for Holtmann and the Bulldogs, the chatter will only get louder as the season goes on. ESPN bracketology expert Joe Lenardi currently has the Bulldogs predicted as a 6th seed in this March's upcoming NCAA tournament. For the Butler Beat, I'm Mike Murtaugh.
Reach Week activities are in full swing on Butler's campus. SGA's Reach Board has planned programs to educate Butler's community on diversity and respecting others' differences. Kaylee Ricks has the story.
Respecting, embracing, and achieving community harmony is the phrase that makes up the acronym REACH. This week is not only Founders Week on campus, but it is also Reach Week. Butler student Jordan Patterson says he hopes everyone will participate in the activities because we as a community can learn a lot.
One thing that I think people should get out of Reach Week, it's pretty much in its name. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, reaching, extending out of your comfort zone, and embracing others' differences.
The Reach Week activities started on Monday when Dr. Leslie Ashburn Nardo spoke to an audience in Irwin Library about cultivating positive change. Yesterday, 5 students and 2 adults held a discussion on how the New Year is celebrated in different faith traditions.
Usually, on New Year's Day, we go to the shrine and we throw a coin to God and make a wish.
Although many activities have already taken place, there's a new addition this year that many students do not want to miss out on. This week, the Diversity Center is hosting a kiosk where students are able to step inside, take their picture, and see themselves in 5 different races. At the end of the photo shoot, participants have the opportunity to send the photos so that they can keep them for a lifetime. Vice President of Reach and Diversity Programming, Tivon Dennis, encourages students to participate in as many Reach Week activities as they can.
Do your best to get out and engage in all the activities that we have present because it's here for you and it's here to benefit you as a person and allowing yourself to see things from the perspective that you usually don't see them.
Reach Week wraps up on Saturday. To see the remaining activities, look for updates and the connection. For the Butler Beat, I'm Kaylee Ricks.
Bulldogs are still feeling warm at heart after Saturday's record-breaking polar plunge. I braved the cold over the weekend to bring you the story. Students filled the HRC starting at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning for the annual polar plunge. Some Bulldogs, though, like Katie Perez, had been up for a few extra hours.
Well, I'm on exec, and so I was here for the early shift, 5 a.m., and I don't know, I just love the 5 a.m. shift because you get to see the sunrise, you get to set up the pool. I think it's a lot of fun.
After registering and grabbing a bite to eat, there was a costume contest. Alpha Chi Omega was voted the winner. Lambda Chi Alpha had the most participants of the day. Sophomore Austin Bange says it's special to see everyone get involved.
It's an opportunity for the whole campus to come together and really celebrate something that doesn't come to our campus very often, and that is Special Olympians being able to express themselves and have a great time with all the students that are on campus.
The event raises money for Special Olympics Indiana. The cause is close to Junior Kat Lacasio's heart.
Okay, so Special Olympics means so much to me because it's family. My twin brother has special needs. I've been involved with Special Olympics since 2012, and it's completely changed my family dynamic and the support that we've received through everything.
Outside, those brave enough took the plunge in a variety of fashions. People who crowded around the heaters were entertained with cannonballs, Cookie Monster costumes, and more. Zach Davidoff says he was not prepared for the cold.
It was probably 10 times colder than I actually thought. And then my group just stayed in the pool and waited for everyone to actually get in, which probably wasn't the smartest idea. But it was fun. And I can't feel my legs, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
This year's polar plunge was record-breaking in 2 areas, according to a spring sports co-chair. More than 350 people took the plunge and more than $38,000 was raised. Overall standings for money and participants have not been released. For the Butler Beat, I'm Emma Edick.
The Butler Collegian has a brand new editor-in-chief this semester, and his ideas are giving the Collegian a facelift. Haley Ross has the story.
Working for the Collegian isn't always where junior Julian Wiley thought he would end up.
Well, I really joined the Collegian kind of on accident.
He had volunteered to give an interview for a piece the former opinion editor was writing. They got on the topic of Wiley's own writing, and he ended up being interviewed for a job on the Collegian instead.
Not something I thought about at all, but for something that to be so random turns out to be such a great thing, I think is really cool.
He was a columnist for a semester and then jumped right to opinion editor. Former Collegian editor-in-chief Murray J. Duffy says Wiley adapted quickly to his new role as opinion editor. This made her confident he would do well taking on her role the next semester.
He did fabulous. He was a total natural. So it only made sense that he would be able to skip a couple more steps and become editor-in-chief like really quickly after that. And I think he's doing an awesome job.
Wiley is an economics major and is very interested in marketing. This allows him to think differently than many of the other journalism students on the staff. He says his goal for the semester is to market the Collegian the best he can.
Definitely what we're trying to do is ramp up the marketing aspect of it and more so looking at it from how do we reach students. And I think the best way of reaching them is with online, social media, just getting the information out there quicker.
Besides having the paper online, Wiley has added more of a digital media presence as well. All staff have to share something from the Collegian website each week on their own social media so more students see it. There is also a new promotional video for the Collegian, as well as more short, entertaining newscasts that students want to watch. Sophomore Jacqueline Markey says she really likes the new direction the Collegian has taken this semester.
I've really been enjoying reading the Collegian lately. I think it's definitely helped that its web presence has increased and it's a lot more relevant to Butler students.
Wiley says his ultimate goal is very specific. He wants every student to read the Collegian each week. For the Butler Beat, I'm Haley Ross.
7 Butler students are finalists for the Fulbright Scholarship. This scholarship provides U.S. students the opportunity to spend a year in another country, either teaching English or doing research. In order to apply, students need to have a bachelor's degree or receive one by the time they go abroad. Amber Zamay, one of the finalists, is applying to teach in Mexico. She says experiencing a new culture is what she is looking forward to.
Immersing myself in the culture. I love being in new places and just seeing the day-to-day life of how other countries live because they're so different than how we live in the United States. So just being in the culture and really getting to see the daily life.
Finalists will know if they have won the scholarship by the end of March. The canal path between Hampton Drive and Capitol Avenue will be closed for approximately a month due to the Indianapolis North Flood Damage Reduction Project. Butler student and member of Run Club, Kristen Webb, said she utilizes the canal path multiple times during the week. Webb says the canal expands Butler's campus and the closing of it is definitely an inconvenience.
It connected us to areas of Indianapolis like Broad Ripple or towards the IMA, so it's kind of frustrating that we can't use it and we'll have to use alternative routes to try and make our runs longer.
The canal was set to close Monday, February 2nd, but was still being utilized at that time. When it does shut down this month, members of the community are asked to use 42nd Street, Howey Avenue, and Hampton Drive as a detour. A map of this detour can be found on the past announcements page on the Butler Connection website.
Butler students and community members now know more about the art of Indian dance thanks to a lesson from Ragamala Dance Company. They gathered in Lily Hall Dance Studio last Friday night, the day before Ragamala took stage at Clues. During the hour-long session, Ragamala members taught dancers their traditional dance. The students learned how to stomp their feet, move their arms, and feel the rhythm of the traditional South Indian music. Clues will host another dance performance, Raising Cane, on February 27th. The show goes on at Butler's Holcomb Observatory, which is nearly finished with a 2-year renovation of its telescope. Austin Monteith has a story on how the observatory has been able to continue to present astronomy to the public.
Holcomb Observatory is approaching the end of a more than 2-year-long project to improve its telescope. The 38-inch telescope has been out of use since the spring of 2013. But is projected to be back in service by May after several improvements have been made, says Observatory Director Brian Murphy.
By that, what we mean is we're changing the optics, we're changing the operation of the telescope, and it's going to be a much better experience for both the public and our students here at Butler when they're doing their classes.
Among the upgrades made to the telescope will be a larger view of the night sky and the ability to control the telescope remotely from anywhere on Earth. In the meantime, Butler students continue to present shows about astronomy nearly every weekend at the observatory.
Is, a lot of students they'll go through their 4 years and say, oh, I've never, I've heard of the observatory, but I've never gone into it. Giving more students a chance to come in here and really show it is a pretty cool place. I think that's the best part about the job.
Winter is a prime time to view the night sky and go stargazing, so the next time it's a clear weekend night, think about checking out a show at Holcomb Observatory.
But I hope they just enjoy it and enjoy a night of science rather than a night of Netflix. It's fun to come out here and have fun in an educational way and show people things they wouldn't ordinarily see.
Evening shows will be held at the observatory on February 6th, 13th, and 14th. For the Butler Beat, I'm Austin Monteith.
Butler is making strides toward reducing its carbon footprint with the recent addition of 2 electric car charging stations. Located in Hinkle parking lot, students with electric cars can charge them for only $2.50 per visit. According to a statement he released on Indy.gov, President James Danko installed the charging stations in hopes of eliminating the campus net emissions of greenhouse gases. Butler students who own electric cars are taking full advantage.
It takes about 4 hours to fully charge my car, so I'm lucky I have like a 4-hour time span when I'm in class, so I literally just drive it up here plug it in, go to class, and then when I'm done, it's completely charged.
Driving electric cars is just one way Butler students help improve the environment.
While the official housing lottery for campus starts later this semester, upcoming seniors wanting to live in the apartment village next year get to pick their housing sooner. Doug Howell, the Associate Director of Residence Life, says that AV has a special program for seniors that includes first preference in the village.
The biggest benefits is if a student's already living in the apartment village and then will be living there as a senior next year, they can actually reclaim their apartment. And that's really the only time in on-campus housing where we're able to offer a student to reclaim the space that they're in. And so that can be really convenient because they know the space, or it's a great location in the village, or they want to guarantee that they're going to be there throughout the whole summer and into the next school year if they're going to be here for the summer. So there's lots of benefits to allowing students to reclaim that same apartment.
Howell also says the group can include juniors along with the upcoming seniors. In order to start the process, all seniors have to do is email him at d-howell@butler.edu. That's it for this week's Butler Beat. I'm Brianna Manley.
And I'm Emma Edick. Have a great week, Butler University.